This video is brought to you by Incogni. I'm sorry, but this is not going to cut it. The utter lack of transparency coming out of this administration is already enough to make your head spin. But on top of that, every single time Pam Bondi or Donald Trump or anybody tries to talk about the Epstein client list in public, they make their situation like 10 times worse. For example, earlier, Donald Trump was screaming on the White House lawn about how the Epstein client list was actually written by Obama and James Comey, which is such a weak argument because in it you are admitting that the list is real, but also admitting that the contents of the list must be so unfavorable to you that you have to preemptively claim they are written by your biggest political enemy. So it's a terrible argument. And Pam Bondi then gave a press conference like an hour after this Trump clip came out. And in this press conference, Pam Bondi shoots down multiple questions related to the Epstein files before walking off. She only tries to redirect to more divisive issues such as the border or fentanyl, which honestly, fentanyl isn't divisive. It's a huge problem. But the Trump administration claims in one breath they've solved the problem at the border entirely, but then they still try to harp on the border and fentanyl as a divisive issue and try to act like the Democrats are letting immigrants in. They want to have their cake and eat it too, meaning they want to solve the problem in an authoritarian way, but also run on the problem during election campaigns. So I want to show you these clips of Pam Bondi shooting down these questions because I think as Americans, we deserve transparency. We should be watching our elected officials very closely, especially when they're lying to us. First, let's start off with what Marjorie Taylor Greene has had to say today, because she's surprisingly a part of the resistance here.
How big of a blowback is there right now in MAGA world specifically?
It's pretty big, I have to be honest. It's just a red line that it crosses for many people. Jeffrey Epstein is literally the most well-known convicted pedophile in modern.
He is a convicted pedophile, and this admin is just flippantly covering it up. And also, I want to say, the elevator behind Marjorie keeps opening. It's not your doorbell. I thought it was my doorbell, too. Sorry.
Day history. This is something that's been talked about by many people serving in the administration, myself and many others on the right and the left, of there needing to be transparency of the rich and powerful elites that were in his circle while he was just one of the worst serial abusers of young women. It has been a very serious situation for the administration, and many people are speaking out online. You've seen it. You saw it at Turning Point Student Action Summit this weekend, and a lot of people in people that were involved with Jeffrey Epstein. And is there a blackmail list? And are there foreign countries' governments involved?
I love when Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, Epstein was clearly parading around with a bunch of rich and famous people at the time. It's like, yeah, the dude that you help elected into power. How about this clip of Representative Tim Burchett of Tennessee saying that he doesn't trust the DOJ. He doesn't trust Trump's own hand-picked AG, Pam Bondi, who we'll get to in just 1 second.
Should there be an investigation or a special counsel investigation?
I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I just find them guilty and hang them publicly. I mean, that's not over the top either. I'm ready. I'm over it. It disgusts me. I'm big on clarity and transparency, and you know, that's good reason people don't trust government, either party.
But you don't believe what the Justice Department is saying?
I don't know. No, I don't. I don't trust them.
Okay, here's the thing. While all of these Republicans are saying they don't trust the Attorney General, they also just voted to torpedo a House bill trying to release the Epstein files. This is brand new. The latest attempt by House Democrats to force a vote on releasing the files related to the disgraced late financier Jeffrey Epstein failed. Democrats unsuccessfully urged the chamber to oppose a routine procedural vote. The Epstein files have been a source of controversy, and Republicans ended up shooting it down. Republicans united and supported the procedural votes along party lines. How can you say that you're disgusted by this, but then not vote for the release of the files? What I find hilarious is that when I visit the prediction market Kalshi, they have a whole market titled, "Will Trump release any of the Epstein files this year?" And you can see it used to be around 40%, 43%, it even jumped up a little bit to 46%. But once Pam Bondi made that announcement, you see the Kalshi market just drop off of a cliff. Now it's starting to go back up as Pam Bondi and Trump are teasing the public again. I don't know how Trump supporters are falling for this, but overall, the public has lost confidence that this will be released. There's another prediction market. Will Ghislaine Maxwell testify in front of Congress this year? Now, the chances have remained a little bit low, but they're starting to increase as these articles are coming out that she wants to testify. So I find it incredibly interesting that people are currently putting their money on whether or not this one says, who will leave their role in the Trump administration? You see Dan Bongino spikes. He spikes as someone who's going to leave their role, and Pam Bondi seems more likely to lose her role as well. She's the black line right here. Incredibly interesting. Let's watch Attorney General Pam Bondi. First, a reporter asks, hey, Trump just said he would support you releasing additional credible evidence from the Epstein investigation. Are you open to releasing this evidence? Months ago, Pam Bondi was brazenly talking about how she'll release everything. Now, she refuses to answer the question.
He said that he would support you releasing additional credible evidence from the Epstein investigation. Is that something that you are open to do? He said this just a few months ago. Let me take that first.
This today is about fentanyl. This is about a wall of people right outside this room who have died from, I appreciate your question, but this today is about fentanyl overdoses throughout our country and people who have lost loved ones to fentanyl. That's the message that we're here to send today.
A few things. First of all, the fentanyl problem is very real. I don't want to seem like I'm undermining that. Fentanyl is a very real problem in the United States, and it can be laced in drugs. People can overdose very, very easily. But putting that to the side, Pam Bondi always wants to pivot back to topics where she can try to blame Democrats, play the blame game, or turn it into the most divisive thing possible. Rather than talking about something that the American people want transparency on, she also just says Democrats are, flooding the border with fentanyl, uses divisive rhetoric. Here's another question. Pam Bondi then gets asked, how do you respond to the MAGA fan base that has expressed frustration about Epstein? Guess what? Pam Bondi refuses to answer once again.
You said today you would release credible files related to Mr. Epstein. Are you prepared to do that, and when would you do that?
Our memo speaks for itself, and we'll get back to you on anything else. I haven't seen all of his statements today.
Our memo speaks for itself. Okay, so her memo was that the Epstein files don't exist. But when Trump spoke earlier, he contradicted the memo by saying that the list exists. It was just written by Obama.
Specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden,
The absolute cope. If the things in these files weren't terrible for Donald Trump, he wouldn't feel the incessant urge to preemptively say that they were written by Obama before anyone even knows the exact content. So we know that Trump's been on every single list that's been released so far, the flight list, the black book, every single list Trump has been a part of. Pretty sure he's known to have visited the island, but we don't know the actual client list of people that Jeffrey Epstein apparently trafficked to, allegedly. We don't exactly know. But we do know that Republicans are not happy. Again, Marjorie Taylor Greene said, America deserves the truth about Jeffrey Epstein and the rich and powerful elites in his circle, but she's speaking out of both sides of her mouth because as she was tweeting this, she voted to cover up the files. The line is drawn with anyone who abuses children and vulnerable, innocent people. Then the Lincoln Project said, hey, this you? And the this you is Republicans voting to squash the procedural vote. To squash it. We're not doing this. We're not doing this whatsoever. I'm going to leave it there. We're going to continue working hard, exposing this as all of the information comes out. I appreciate every single one of you eternally. I'm eternally grateful for every single person who spends even a second with me every day. So thank you all. Make sure you're subscribed to the feed below if you want to keep up with the news, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. This video is made possible by Incogni. And really quickly, if you use the internet as much as I do, then it's time to take your data back. Have you ever searched your name in one of those people finder websites and you find your age, your phone number, your address history, somehow your Wi-Fi password's on there? That's because online data brokers are stealing your data on a daily basis and you need to activate Incogni. I would not allow Incogni to sponsor this video if I didn't truly love the service. It's a service that tells data brokers to delete your info. and it's automated. You don't have to step in, they do it for you. So when I signed up and I gave Incogni the green light to hit up data brokers, they did. They were like a personal bodyguard for my data on my behalf, constantly telling people to stop stealing it. And in 2025, their new unlimited and family unlimited plans include the custom removal feature. So you can go to any website and remove your data. Go take your personal data back with Incogni. That's incogni.com/Mockler. First link in the description below for a 60% off annual plan. One more time. If you want 60% off your annual plan, click the top link. Use code Mockler at incogni.com/Mockler. Thank you.